Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader back again. How to day trade any market, the $1,000 a day challenge. So traders, this is session 94. Now in today's session you're going to get to watch me execute 5 trades, and I'll explain step by step exactly what I'm looking for. So you'll see I actually executed 4 trades, hit my target, but then a minute or two later I'd actually pause the video and I saw another great setup which I'll explain. So it really topped the day off quite nicely, all well and truly wrapped up in under an hour. Now if $1,000 a day is not enough for you, you simply increase the number of contracts that you trade, but of course at the same time we always follow our money management rules. That is, we never risk any more than 2% in a trade. Now I do need to just pull up the disclaimer. There is a risk in trading. Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. And the great thing about trading platforms today, you can actually trade on the simulator before you actually go live. A very quick advertisement: if you haven't already downloaded my ebook, The Truth About Day Trading, please click on the link below. Also in the link below you can also download the spreadsheets that I use. So you'll see them in a moment, where I talk about the realistic potential returns that you can earn as a day trader. So you can actually download that, and there's a video that goes with it which shows you how to actually use it correctly. Okay, so you can download that in the description link below as well. Now make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be kept up to date with any new videos that I release. Even better still, become a member. So I'll just be another 30 seconds here. So for $197 you receive all of my indicators. There's hundreds of hours of videos, there's 35 PowerPoints, there's you name it, it's there. And as my members subscribe, it's an absolute goldmine. There's nothing else like it. There truly isn't. So you can go to my website or click on the description link below to join. I also have a bonus going where you can also receive 8 live coaching sessions. So you can join my live coaching sessions. That is every Tuesday and Wednesday evening, 6 to 8 p.m. for 2 hours. I run and if you can't attend the live session, they are recorded, where I go through everything from the psychology of trading, money management, excuse me, I'll put my teeth back in, right through to exactly how to trade the setups. Then after the first month, you can sign on for $97 a month. Now if you visit my website, you'll see my program's gone up to $297, and I'm now charging $297 for the live trading room or the coaching room. So just make sure you use the links here, otherwise you will pay a little more on my website. Okay, end of ad. Let's get into this. First of all, traders, I'm going to be showing you 5 different trades. Now 3 of those trades were trend following and 2 of them were counter trend trades. Now this is how you truly get wealthy day trading. That is, if you're a new trader or if you've been struggling, and I know many of you have already seen my videos and you see me talk about this in nearly every session. Just hang around, we'll be through this in a moment. But when you want to master or going to master the art of day trading, you don't want to have it too hard, not too easy, just right. In other words, we generally start you off, I've got over 15 great setups, but you only want to start off with just a handful, 2 or 3 of the best trend following strategies. All right, because counter trend trading, as you will see me do, can be tricky. All right, but I've been day trading now for 28 years, so I know the patterns, and all of the setups that I teach are pattern based. So very important. If you look at the CT trades, forget those. The counter trend trades that I trade, initially we just want to have you focus on the trend trades. Now let's also talk about what is a game changer, and that is, most traders unfortunately are being sold that it's a get rich quick. You can make a fortune very quickly trading Forex, trading futures, trading crypto. Yes, there's the occasional person that flukes it. However, it's the wrong approach. Now just imagine here earning an extra $1,000 a day. Now 5,000 a week would be a life changer for most people. How do you achieve that? Just $100 a day. And with a trading pool of $20,000 to $30,000, that's not a bad return on your capital, is it? Now, as you'll see, like today, in today's session, I ended up achieving over $300 in a day in under an hour. So you also don't have to sit at your screen all day. But by starting at that level, you're building both your confidence and your competence. Now you start off with one contract, by the way, and then I'll show you how to actually start with a very small account as well. So I teach my members, and this particular member, he's now, if I remember, I've actually got a slide, I didn't include it here. I think he's on about $250 a day now. He's now averaging. So he started off 100 a day, and build your account, and you build the target that you're after over a period of time. It builds what you call both your confidence and your competence. Now in today's session, and in most of my videos, you'll see I trade with Renko charts, but I love tick charts as well. Now what I teach you in these sessions you can apply to any chart type. I've got a lot of members that love hard charts, which is a combination between Heikin-Ashi and Renko. A little thing we've put together. It works really well, just smooths even the Heikin-Ashi out even more. So it doesn't matter which type of chart, but I've got my favorites. Now in today's session we're talking about some trend trades that I took. I entered a trend trade here. I took what I call a CT trade here. I then took a trend trade here, and another one, what we call a bet the farm, and that come down within one tick of stopping me out, as you'll see when we get to the chart. Now generally I would use up to a 16 tick stop. Now this is and you'll see it on the recording. This was actually about 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the market reopens at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. It closes for an hour, and so you can be trading futures, the futures markets, basically 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now during the evening, or what we call the Globex session, I will trade a 4 tick Renko on the NQ, that is. If I'm trading say the YM or the Russell, I'd trade between a 2 and a 3 tick. So it just depends on the market. But once you hit the New York session, you're going to have to be trading a higher time frame. Okay, so you'll see this when we get to this. Now I then wrapped up my trading, so I'd finished that up. That was all over in 25 minutes. Then I had and I'll talk about this, but I had this great angulation trade set up that was a 2D. Now unfortunately I clicked because it was taking so long, it was taking a little while to actually fill or to exit the trade, that instead of clicking pause, I clicked end video. So unfortunately it doesn't show it coming all the way down here. It's because it took a wee bit of time to do that. Now when I say a wee bit, it was only 3 or 4 minutes later. So it came down and then bounced, and I was actually looking for a larger target. Now for members watching this video, you know I would normally exit at the 89. Here I was actually being a wee bit greedy, and what actually happened then, it bounced very quickly and I got a fair amount of slippage when I exited this trade, where I really should have got out down here at the 89. Now this is I think it still was wrapped up in well and truly under an hour, so still not a bad return after commission. So that was 5 out of 5. So I'm going to play you the replay of and I'll describe what I'm doing, because I started recording sessions, and I usually don't record sound at the same time, so it allows me to stay focused on the trading. Now before we get there, I want to give you a roadmap that anybody can basically use, a realistic roadmap. Now unfortunately it's not going to get you rich quick, but it will get you rich slowly. Okay, now first of all, you've got to have a goal, a realistic goal, and the realistic goal will be this: Now you can get going trading doing exactly what I'm going to be showing you with a $400 account, because you're going to be trading what we call the micro account, which is 10% of the value. And so averaging just $20 a day on a micro, so if you start with 400, even if you've got 4,000, which is ideally what you want or need to trade a 4-tick Renko on the big contract, doing it safely, don't get conned on the BS out there. Or it's okay to risk 5%, or you can just trade, using $1,000 or $2,000. You're going to blow your account, plus you blow your confidence. Okay, so let's approach this correctly. There's only one way to master the art of day trading. It's the right way the first time. So with $20 a day, within 12 weeks now, you're trading maybe 1 or 2 hours a day. Let's just say 2 hours. You've now got 4,000 in your account. You can now start trading the big contract. Now, is that realistic? Well, this is where trading the micro NQ, which is what we're talking about. You can see here it's a live account. Within no time, $63.75, and you can see they're trading one contract. So yes, it is $20 a day is realistic if you're following the rules. Now, once you've got that $4,000, we now roll over. Okay, so in 12 weeks, you've got your 4,000. We now roll over and start trading the big contract, and instead of going for $20 a day, we're now going for $200 a day per contract. Now you'll see in virtually every one of my videos I do this well in well under an hour. Okay, now I have to say I've been trading for 28 years, so you need to be allowing a few hours. And is what I do typical? No, you've got to put the work in. Okay, how I trade, and as you'll see when I get to the live trade, it's pattern based. You can do this, but you've got to learn the fundamentals. Okay, yes, I can give you a lot of shortcuts, but you've still got to get the screen time. But the great thing is, trust me, this is not rocket science. Now what it means here is basically, where is it on this slide? Start off with 400. Within 24 weeks, my account's now 46,000, and I've got a $10,000 a week plus income potential on only $200 a day. Now I would say allow longer than that, because before you go live you're going to trade on the simulator, so you'd be allowing at least 34 weeks. But there's nothing else like it out there with this true potential. But who is this not for? Well, day trading's not for the get rich people, okay, or those that with a tiny account that want to risk 10% a trade, and they just hang on to the side of a desk with like grim death, hoping that the trade comes off. There's only one way to approach it. It's the right way the first time. Now generally, to hit your $200 a day on this time frame, you need between 3 and 4 net trades a day. That's after any losses. Okay, and we've got a number of trend following strategies you can just follow to achieve that. Now just before I play the recording, there's a couple of things here that we do need to consider. Now the recording goes for 7 or 8 minutes, and I'll just let it run continually, and I'll just describe what's happening. But when we trade, you'll actually see me scrunch the charts up, that is, pull them down, compress them, because what I'm checking is where are these levels, because these play a very important role. And once you have these explained how they work, it's really easy, and there's indicators that basically put these on your charts anyway. But there's all these are what we call price magnets. That is, they attract price, and they also act as support resistance areas. So let me now play the recording, and I'm going to explain. I'll try to keep my pointer off, because it just I might have to bring it up a time, because it just brings this up. Okay, so first of all, I entered this trade here. This is what we call a 3B, and I was actually in this trade quite late, unfortunately. So I jumped in on this one. I'm actually long 5 contracts. Now I'm a scalping. You see already I was out of that trade, just went bang, hit my target. Now I'm a scalper, which means I generally will use fixed targets. Okay, so I'm after, and I call these steps. Usually I'm after, I'll go to break even, which is my entry price. Once I hit 5 steps, and I'm after 7 steps in total. Now that means I go to break even at $50 per contract. That's my entry price, and I'm after ideally $70 per contract. Now of course the market can keep moving. Now just there, see what I'm doing just there? I'm checking what's in front, because if you've got a pivot or a major support, like for example, here's a pivot right here, and see there's the 200. These act as support resistance levels. Now this is a quick scalp I'm taking. Now this is a reversal trade. For members watching, it's not a T3. I had some divergence on one of the anchor charts, a little bit of divergence here, and so I was just after a quick scalp here. So I'm in the trade, and just my stop. I like to place my stop one tick above a swing or one tick below, unless I'm in, there we are, we're already filled, unless I'm in the trade late. So if I'm in the trade late traders, I'll usually leave my stop loss where it might be here. And on this time frame, I like to just use, and let me just pause this, I need to pause this. So I like to use a 16 tick stop loss here. Now 16 ticks is $80. So remember I said you need $4,000 to trade this time frame. It's because typically as a maximum I've got an 80 tick stop loss. Now if you're trading the micro where you only need $400, your stop loss is only $8. Okay, but that tends to work really well here. And now just see here, you can see that I've entered this trade using a buy stop order, and my stop loss is not under this little swing as yet. So what you'll see me generally do is adjust my stop, and the reason being, on my dome, where when I enter a trade it automatically puts my exit order in and my stop loss, I've usually only got it set to 12. So it means sometimes it's 14, just depends on a couple of things, but usually it's 12, which means I might have to adjust it. Now if I can get away with a 12 tick stop, it means my risk is lower. So let me now hit go here. Now I want you to notice the high of this as well. So see where my exit order is just there. It's pretty much at that swing high, which is, this is what we call a swing high. And remember before I said you want to know where your intraday swing highs are and the low. That's one of those areas, and the reason being, we can quite often go up to those levels and bounce. Now you'll sometimes see it jerk backwards and forwards, and that's because when I type on the screen, sometimes it'll go off screen and it does a funny thing, so you'll have to excuse it when it does that. Now very soon you'll see me put in another order. Now at the moment this stop is one tick below the little swing just here. Where I will add to a trade is if I feel I've got a very high probability set up on the way, like just here. Potentially I've got here, and for members watching this, we've got a bet the farm set up potentially. So what I'll do, there's certain things that need to happen, but I'll have a resting order in the market. So if it comes up and fills me, fantastic, I'm in my bet the farm. If it doesn't, okay, I'll just cancel the order. Or if this comes down and stops me out, remember I'm already long 5 contracts here, I get stopped out with only 5. Now hopefully that makes sense. What was I going to say? Money management here. I traded only a 0.5 to 1% risk, which means I can add to a position without breaking my or the 2% rule. If you're already long here on that first trade back here, which is a 2B, well then you would not be able to add to your position here the bet the farm. Okay, I'd recommend that you don't. So now I'm long 10 contracts. My stops are one tick under each key point here, and you can see here I'm targeting this swing high. Now I'm not sure if I, just as a reminder, whether I scroll down again in a moment just to check what's above, but I should have a pretty good idea here. Now obviously and so you can see there I hit 5 steps, went to break even. I then hit my target with the first lot of contracts, hence I'm out. Now just here you can probably see I lift up my stop loss here, well really to lock in profits and to cover my trade up here if it comes back and stops me out. Now the reason for that, traders, is this swing high. Okay, we may continue, and quite often we do, but I'm a scalper. The way I look at it, I can always get back in. All right, I want to hear that cash register ringing. So that's what has happened here. Now a couple of minutes later, so I'm out here, I've put in, let me just pause this here. So 25 minutes of trading, 4 out of 4, and that is a with trend, CT, and 2 trend following trades. One was a 2B, one was a bet the farm. Now let's watch what happens here. See this, and what's paused, I'll point this out. See the EMAs, that's called angulation. Just there, that's called angulation. See this here, I'm getting angulation as well. Now when I get angulation with a number of other conditions, particularly on what's happening on one of my anchor charts, it gives me a potential for a very high probability reversal trade. So let's now display this. Now in a moment you'll see actually it cuts off. As I said, I hit the wrong button. Now just here, so I was going to record a video for members here. So on the way up, all of those were legitimate 2B entries. So if you're a member watching, they were all 2 or 3B entries. There's a really nice 2D there, and if I remember correctly, that was even a 2D as well. Okay, so here we had a 2BD, but look at the trend here, so good reason to keep taking these trades. So I didn't take these. Here was another 2B which I was on, and then I jumped in on this one. So just up here I could see I'm getting great angulation. And so members, for members watching this, I can't remember, I may have actually had a T3 and actually that's right, it was a T3 setting up as well. So I had a whole lot of reasons to be really interested in this reversal trade. So I'd already finished, but I couldn't help myself there. So I've taken this trade here. Yes, it was a T3, and if I remember correctly, it may have even been a 2D as well. Now when I take these reversals, I want to target the 89. Okay, now unfortunately you don't get to see me pull that down because silly me, I pushed the wrong button. I went to pause it because it sort of stalled for a while, so I thought I'll just pause it and just wait. And so you missed out on that, but let me just pull this back up again. I think here's the screenshot here. So you may remember to exit, to cover the trade, it was up here somewhere. I then pulled it down to below the 89. Now unfortunately, and that was a mistake, and most of you that are members know that really I'm normally out at the 89. So and you know what, quite often some of your silly trades come after a heap of winners. That is, if you have a really great run, well this is not just fairly average run here, but if you have a great run or a good day, quite often you can get very slap happy, you know, oh, she'll be right, I'll increase that, or I'll do this, and you usually end up regretting it. So my target was down below the 89, which was just a silly thing to do, and it came down, bounced up, and you can see I ended up getting out a lot later than if I had had my exit covered the trade at the 89. So it still was 5 out of 5 and a great trading session. However, a valuable lesson. So traders, this is not rocket science. It's everything I've shown you here is pattern based. It's based on rules. They're high probability rules based patterns. You've got to put the work in. That is, you've got to get the screen time. I teach you in the live classes how to trade these, but you've got to be willing to put the work in. And the reason I say that, some people will watch a YouTube video and it's a bit like, reading a book on swimming or maybe flying a plane. You can read a manual, but you really need to get that instruction and put that work into it. But anyway, come and join me for $197. You get my entire program, plus you can attend 8 of my live coaching sessions, which go for 2 hours each session. And after that, you can actually drop me an email and say, hey, this is great, and you can continue for nearly said that's my website price, $297 now, but for $97 a month. Thanks traders, another great day, and I'll see you in my next video.